The first ever 12-team college football playoff is now down to 2 teams. All we have left is the national championship game. Going to give you my prediction for that game. Also, before we get to that, I'm going to give you kind of my takeaways, recap of the semifinal matchups. I did not do a video after those games just because there are only 2 games. I didn't know if I'd really have enough to say to do a whole video. So let's just get into those games real quick. And here's the updated bracket. Again, Ohio State, Notre Dame in the championship game. In terms of individual game predictions, so when I make these predictions each week, only missed 2 games, but both of those games were Notre Dame. I had Notre Dame losing to Indiana. I had Notre Dame losing to Georgia. I did pick Notre Dame to beat Penn State, but other than that, we've gotten every game right. So again, we're going to give you our national championship prediction here in just a second. But first, let's get to these semifinal games. We had Notre Dame, Penn State in the Orange Bowl. This was a great game. Came down to the end. Notre Dame wins at 27-24. Pretty much exactly what I expected. If you watched my prediction video last week, I said this game was a coin toss. Either team could win. I didn't really see any big separation between these 2 teams. Very evenly matched teams, and that's what we saw on the field. But when I made my prediction, if you guys watched it, I said when it comes down to the end of the game, the clutch moments of the game, which quarterback do I trust more? And that's Riley Leonard, because Drew Aller just has not been great in these clutch moments. Had the terrible interception in this game. Riley Leonard didn't play great in this game either, but he made some plays there at the end to help them get into field goal range. So yeah, Riley Leonard, just a little bit more of a gamer in my opinion, a little bit more experienced. Drew Aller can make all the throws, no doubt about it, but he's going to have to kind of take that next step next year if Penn State's going to have a chance to win a national championship. But maybe he will. We'll see. But yeah, that was just kind of my takeaway. Both defenses played great. Both teams ran the ball maybe a little bit better than I expected, but again, it was mostly defense in this game. And how about the stat that Penn State did not complete a pass to a wide receiver? That's wild. Notre Dame's defense played really well in this one. Again, both teams played really well. So I don't want to, it's not like Notre Dame dominated this game. In fact, Penn State in the first half clearly looked like the better team. I thought, again, watching that first half, Penn State just looked like the better team, but Notre Dame just outplayed them in the second half. So hats off to them. Made some great adjustments at halftime. Came out again playing harder in the second half and outplayed them, and they won the game. All right, so the other game, Ohio State, Texas. This game was about what I expected to, I guess. I think I actually did say Ohio State by 14, but it was closer. Maybe the score wasn't closer, but just the game was closer. The competitiveness was closer. I don't know what the right word is for that. Because Texas did have a chance here. I mean, down by 7, ball on the 1-yard line. I do not. All right, when you have a short yardage situation, I just hate the decision to do a high-risk play. A toss play is a high-risk play because you're running, laterally, and the defense has a chance to potentially get in the backfield and tackle you for a loss, which is exactly what happened in this game or on this play. So I just hated that play call. I mean, maybe if it's 4th down and you're just trying to do something creative, start trying to catch the other team off guard, maybe you try something like that. But I mean, if it's 1 yard to go, I don't like being in the shotgun. I want to just hand it off, power up the middle, or do a quarterback sneak. I hate high-risk plays because that pushed them back. Then they had to throw, and we all saw what happened there at the end. But in terms of just the overall game, Texas defense was really good in this game. They really did a good job on Jeremiah Smith. You take away the one long touchdown run right before halftime, which maybe was the difference in this game. You take that play away, and then, of course, the defensive touchdown for Ohio State. They only scored 14 points, so I thought the Texas defense did what they had to do. Quinn Ewers played pretty well. I thought he had to play a great game for Texas to win. I don't know that he played great. He played good. And again, it just wasn't enough. He needed to play great. He needed to come up with a clutch play there at the end to tie the game up. He couldn't do it, and Ohio State does, in fact, win this game. But I think the blueprint is there. I think teams kind of know how to stop Ohio State or slow them down, and we'll get into that here in our prediction. So let's go ahead and get to it. Ohio State, Notre Dame. This game will be on Monday night, of course, 7:30 Eastern time. in Atlanta, and Ohio State's favored by 8.5 points. Check out the over-under, just 45.5. And this is Sunday. This is like 8 days before the game, so it could change obviously between now and then. But 8.5 points. That's the number. This one is, so I do think that there is a path to victory for Notre Dame. I think Ohio State is the clear favorite. I think they're the better overall team. But there is a path to victory for Notre Dame. First, let's just talk about Ohio State. How do they win this game? Well, their defense just has to do what it's been doing, because I think Notre Dame's going to have some problems moving the ball. I really do. I think that if you don't have dynamic playmakers at wide receiver, which Notre Dame, they've not been great. They're okay. They're a lot better than most teams, but in terms of like elite teams, they're not elite at wide receiver. And so I think Notre Dame's going to struggle offensively. I think the run game for them, they'll be okay there, but I don't think it's going to be enough. They're going to have to hit some pass plays, and I think they're going to struggle to do that. So Ohio State just has to play their game on defense and not turn the ball over. I think that's going to be the key. Will Howard has had some pretty bad turnovers in some big games this season. I think that's the path to victory for Notre Dame. They've got to force some turnovers from Will Howard. They've got to get a turnover, a special teams touchdown, a defensive touchdown, something like that. I think their defense, though, gives them a shot. And again, the blueprint is there. You double cover Jeremiah Smith. You get pressure on Will Howard. And I think Notre Dame will be able to slow down Ohio State's rushing attack. So I think they have the defense that's going to give them a chance in this game. Again, we come back to that offense. Can they make some plays through the air, make enough plays through the air to potentially win this game? I think it's a low-scoring game. I think there's a reason why that over-under is at 45.5. I do think it's low-scoring. And again, I think Ohio State, with their balance on offense, with their playmakers at running back and wide receiver, I think that they have enough where if Will Howard plays a good game, they can score a little bit in this game. I really think that they can. But on the other side for Notre Dame, I think it's just going to be tough. I do think they're going to struggle to score points. I think they're going to struggle in the red zone. I think maybe they move the ball a little bit, but then they get in the red zone where you're in a position where you've got to throw the football. You got to throw it in a tight window. Not really Riley Leonard's game to make those, those Peyton Manning, those Tom Brady type pass plays. And so I think Notre Dame struggles to score. So if they're going to win, I think, again, their defense has to do what it's been doing. They have to continue to play great on defense, and they've got to force some turnovers. Probably, I would say, at least 2 turnovers. If Notre Dame's going to win this game, they need to win the turnover battle by 2 or more, and they might need a big special teams play or a defensive touchdown, something like that. That is, I think, Notre Dame's path to victory, which is possible, but the odds are just against them and against that happening. I think Ohio State does win this game. So I am picking Ohio State to win the national championship. I could see this game really going one of 2 ways. I could see it being really, really low scoring, and I'm talking like a 13-10 game, and one of these teams just has to make a play late to get a field goal to win it or something like that. Or if Ohio State's offense gets rolling and their defense it continues to make Notre Dame one-dimensional, and Notre Dame is 3 and out, that offense or that defense for Notre Dame will start to wear down, and Ohio State will pull away and win this game by at least a couple of touchdowns. So again, Ohio State wins it by 14 plus, or it comes down to just who makes a play late. Again, I think the odds do go with Ohio State here. I'm going to pick the Buckeyes, which, again, Ohio State was my national championship pick in the preseason, and we've done this for 8 years. I've correctly predicted the national champion 5 out of 8 years. So if Ohio State wins, that would give me 6 out of 9, which is pretty good. So I'm going to get your predictions. Ohio State, Notre Dame, give me your score predictions. I'm going to say 20-17 Ohio State. That's my prediction. I think it's one of those like 22. Let's go 2016. 20-16. Notre Dame has the ball late. They need a touchdown. They can't get it. Ohio State's defense holds and wins the game. That's my prediction. 20-16 Ohio State. Give me your prediction down in the comments below, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed this season. I do have more content coming this week. We're going to have a tier rankings video. We're going to finish up our look back at our preseason predictions. Also look at which teams were overrated and underrated this season. And then we'll have a final top 25 probably coming out on the day of the national championship. and then we will start previewing 2025. So don't go anywhere. We will continue content all year round right here on this channel. And again, give me your predictions on the national championship down in the comments below.